I want to bring in defamation lawyer Chris Matti, who successfully argued a case against Alex Jones. You know what it is like to stand in front of a jury. Talk to me about what you think we'll hear in those closing arguments tomorrow. What is the best case either side can make?
Well, hi, and thanks to Lisa for that incredible reporting. I think for Ms. Carroll's lawyers, their job is to convince the jury that when the most powerful man in the world uses his platform to lie against and about somebody else, that the damage is catastrophic and endless. They can't put a stop to it. Mr. Trump unleashed a lie that continues to this day, and anybody, regardless of their status or their appetite for publicity, would have their life irrevocably changed because of it. And it's their job to value that. I think that's where the plaintiff's team is going to spend their time. After all, this is a case about damages, not whether he did it or not. I think for Mr. Trump's lawyers, what they're likely to do is kind of beat the drum they've been beating all trial, which is essentially that Miss Carroll likes this, that she likes the attention, that any harm she suffered pales in comparison to the benefit she's received by being in the public eye. That argument, depending on who's on that jury, may fall very flat and may be very offensive because it has echoes of blaming the victim of the sexual assault to begin with. And I just feel like although Trump's lawyers may think they have to go down swinging, that's likely to provoke the jury to an even larger verdict. They may also continue to try and signal that despite the judge's instructions and despite Ms. Carroll's account, that the assault itself just didn't take place. I don't think the judge is going to have any patience for that, but they've kind of tried to signal that throughout, and perhaps they're hoping that there's somebody on the jury who just isn't going to follow the judge's instructions, that they're to conclude and assume that it did happen. That's how I see these arguments breaking down.
And Chris, in your experience, if they decide that this occurred and Trump once again defamed her, how do juries generally make a decision on a dollar amount?
Yeah, it's really hard. I mean, they get limited instructions for how to do that. They're essentially supposed to award damages that they believe are fair, just, and reasonable. So what does that mean in any particular case? You know, the plaintiffs have presented one metric to consider, and that is the cost that it would take to repair her reputation after Mr. Trump had so sullied it. And they put that number at around $12 million. And that's what they are likely to argue should be the economic damages or the compensatory damages. But on punitive damages, it's a much different argument. And that's not so much about how do we value what Ms. Carroll has suffered, but how do we prevent Trump from continuing to do this in the future? What sort of financial penalty is going to be sufficient to deter him? And there, the argument that Ms. Carroll's lawyers are going to make is this guy is completely incorrigible, that no matter what, he's going to continue to defame her unless you do something so significant, so punitive, that he thinks twice before doing it again. And that's where I think you could see a number very, very high. That's, I suppose, what Ms. Carroll's lawyers, and in truth, what is necessary to deter Trump. It's really the only language he understands.